The run of, well, both riders.
With what's going on in the world at the moment and the cost of fuel and the drizzle put off a few, but as we left the circuit,
It's busy. It's already getting a bit scrappy. One year they do a job of it, and it seems even Thursday afternoon when I arrived here, there was a turnout in their droves all weekend here in Jerez.
At all getting in and out of here. Talked about this previously, Michael, but for enough to put on wets, although they do a job, a risk to go out on slicks. Is this a
rider? Some you need to take the decision until track conditions improve, or if you've got, and then there's others you know are so good in it that you Pacific, and sometimes the rider themselves really want to, so they want to go out and put a few laps in, or maybe or as an example on the way into the corner. So yeah, 5-6 laps they'll start to already. Also yeah, it's not wet enough for these tyres to.
Any Spanish riders, of course, flooding the field as well. From your experience in Jerez, what rain yesterday? We had maybe a couple of spots.
When your tyres begin to drop off a little bit, it does, because the surface temperature of the tyre is so hot. When it's the track conditions cold, it feels really grippy when it's here in Jerez, and it is why this place is
just here. There, applause for the Spanish riders too, and HBO Max. This session will be coming up at 10 past at that free practice session for Moto3 sprint build-up later on this afternoon. 35. Susie will then be live on air. 15, the MotoGP race. Literally yesterday in MotoGP, quite really been talking the most about at the start of the year. Marco Bezzecchi nowhere. There was some odd bike behaviour.
Boys arrive back to Europe, and you think it's going to be will be the same, but the game has changed. Evenly matched around here, but Aprilia have had a habit. It could go tomorrow in the main feature. Games looked good on half the lap. I'm expecting some surprises this morning, with Pecco having a strange crash yesterday for Pedro. He and the Aprilia at one around the fast corner, still improving weekend, I would say, in MotoGP.
Yeah, Marco, he leads the championship. Last year's Spanish Grand Prix race winner, but Bezzecchi, and I think he was pretty happy with his rhythm. That from Marco Morelli, just a hand. This is Pini. He is a rookie. Last year, Pini. You just wonder what that might do for his confidence now. Yeah,
victory at the previous round just shows how Moto3 can go, the Moto3 category. Stature-wise, always going to be hampered when you've got long levers. Direction changes, and he came out on top here, and he's got work to do, although seems to have gelled with KTM.
Days of old, herbs and chucking it in. There is so much more grip level, but
yeah, it's a little bit of aggregate, a little bit of grit hitting ice. These are all prepared with their and actually provide more grip than the asphalt. For me, as an old school head, it naturally do it. They're confident to tip. It's impressive to watch, but there is actually some track.
Currently fastest with a 1:58 from injury here this weekend. Munoz, based on the injuries that he's sustained in the
yeah, impressive for the walking wounded. He's walking more able for sure than he American GP. There's Rory Hardy again. Pirelli tyres.
Coming here, of course, off the back of his best ever, which is good. So I'm guessing he was a bit disappointed.
His manager last night, Angel, and he was like, good harmony in the box. And he's really happy with his team. Point scoring results in all 3 races. Best result there, and obviously Uriarte's come past already 4 laps in, and he's now learned to put all that behind him. He knows he takes us from, I think it was about lap 6 to the end of the 4 laps in a Grand Prix, and he can hang in there. A package under him that works. He's got a good aero. Often said the Brits need that extra little bit of time, and trains a lot down in Palma. And
trying to check when Moto3 qualifying is lap 5, isn't it? It's unlikely to be slippery out on circuit. Is these laps early on this morning could benefit?
And these are going to be the conditions we have to put a time. He has done in this session, going out there and pushing to the limit. It's one of those where you got to, this afternoon, we hope that the sun will break through.
So far that they don't want to entertain the idea. Always goes well in Clement's moment in time. David Munoz has opted not to go.
Keeping Munoz in the box might be, for someone like Scott, very this morning, so maybe just sit tight for the first half of the session or the overnight. But yeah, I think if it does end up a wet weather session.
Talking about a moment ago, over the yeah, if you're in the UK as well, but am I certainly back in France?
Certainly not. Yeah, yeah, they have. Knockhill always
yes.
did it well. Knockhill's do your homework on a Thursday, walk around the track. General rule of thumb in the UK, in the wet weather conditions, realised it because of all these Grand Prix tracks, the GP the next season.
He has quite an old school riding style. He's a favourite for many people before the season starts at the moment. He just looks so at one.
Riding as Max does, the way he fit, they are champion makers. World champion in Moto3, potential World 2, a talented roster. And yeah, I think they're very much on the pulse. Good support, well crewed. It is arguably one of the. He's been a prodigious talent. Ooh, he's been touted for greatness, and he's delivered his
management team to have. You would aspire to go to Moto2 next year?
You would have said so. There's certainly going to be an opening move up into the Moto3s. Would be looking at him right now, looking at up onto the 850 before too long.
Crash at the start of the weekend. He's brave and just getting in his first laps.
I didn't catch up with him yesterday, but directly at the moment he's had a good opening. I expected from KC there, but yeah, he's.
But the young Spanish finished every single one of them.
Has he? Oh, that's
without a few hiccups.
Yeah, just thinking that to start late as well, to deliver points in every single race.
18th in Assen, so would that have been maybe a 4, something like that? But either way, it's points in every race in the championship, and you feel like hard play that won the Red Bull rookies.
It's coming, isn't it? I like what I see from Alvaro. He's loose there. Just needs that little confidence boost from it. He's been a serial winner in the junior category, so.
Which from Keyless.
And again.
These grip, it can actually be quite a lot of fun, can't it?
Yeah, it becomes so easy to spin it up, and less so on there, so it's not so easy to play with the power there. But it can be fun on the way in, you can steer on the way off. Obviously it's not this, but yeah, it can be tired to be on in wet weather trim.
Yeah, everyone years ago, Dunlop were the best.
They evolved with the rubber in back in the tyre war era, when it was got your Michelin's, Dunlops, Pirellis all out there. They levelled off somewhat. Best overall. We didn't have any wet weather conditions this year, but yeah, you don't get the tyre.
Kilos again, Uriarte in third and Buchanan in fourth. It's Indonesian burst came crashing back to earth, back in going from the Italian yesterday. Ugly long break after a horrific injury.
Completely agree. I think is starting off yesterday morning, second in the first, fourth overnight. So yeah, still solid, which is good to expect inside the MTA garage. It's the lead rider then. Kelso stepped up last time out with a 9th in Texas. So beginning to
the 2025 season. There were some questions. Crosses the line. Just a reminder in tomorrow's show that we are leathers. Sending our best for Pasek, who put in his leathers. If you go onto his into donate, Ugly & Co have produced a penny. If you want a souvenir, we'll provide you with QR codes. It's running 1 mile in
tomorrow, but yeah, he's done a fantastic job out, but you can't pre-order for the next. Yeah, we wish him well tomorrow.
Something in itself.
Yeah, but I think the work was good. He was fast. His team fairly confident. He was clearly, in my opinion, the fast with traffic 36.7 average, which is always.
Come out of the garage and have a little play, a little week. And no real surprise. Scott's went well for Ogden.
Continued to improve throughout. So 10th at the moment. Being with a shot of pole position, he's had to go in wet weather conditions. So yeah, he's
with 4 minutes left. If you've put in 10 laps here in these conditions, qualifying coming up in a few hours.
Yeah, and focus on qualifying this afternoon.
1.6 seconds down. A couple of DNFs. Hunt for podiums at the top. It was, of course, pole, wasn't he?
As a late replacement for Marcos. A strange year by his standards. He spot and found a good home at the level up.
Here, Jorge Lorenzo corner in Jerez this weekend. Rose Yamanaka here in Jerez last year inside the top 5. But
let's see, which surprises me. I thought on group, but he's languished down the leaderboard.
To say, unfortunately, in an age just 24 now, he's one of the older Moto3 riders.
Yeah, they're itching to get into certain demands, which obviously you have to back those go in the year, but you know, coming it comes to the game of
white flag with the red cross on, to see that on their visor. You know it's raining in that sector as well. I mean, it's a crucial session in terms of so tied up by trying to get yourself a place in
qualifying session to get the Q2 spots. So the time session on Friday afternoon, you can arrive ready to go now in MotoGP across all 3 classes.
Gas It Out podcast, they were asking to learn qualifying session and not do it the way that comes with issues, but I quite like the idea. Well, do you think that whilst there's jeopardy.
I think we get an exciting weekend where Friday after the sport provides, then you've got an ability to evolve if you have improved, progress, if things haven't gone quite right for you in quality. Some negatives that you can point out, but yeah, the one thing I'd probably look at from a rider's sprint.
Laps here just coming in towards the end. Esteban, O'Gorman and O'Shea to challenge Max Keeles and a contender.
No, he's topped all 3 sessions with rain yesterday morning, the dry afternoon, and then this tops the leaderboard by 0.4 of a second. That's just, it could come from the intact GP garage, but
yeah, we have seen some great races here in Moto3 in the past, 2016, but we have notoriously not a circuit with a really long straight. Slip manages to bag pole later.
maximum 6 laps is all.
Now, race winner Guido Pini. Rain, we just had rain fall again at the end. Right out for MotoGP.
More rain out there, might make things a little track before too long.
We're going to have a quick check. We'll chat through Moto2 here in Jerez.